In this particular case today, do you have a sense that there really is a coming together?
Well, there is public condemnation, as you said, but if you read, if you follow social media or if you hear people behind the scenes, there's also a lot of blame on Hezbollah for its military involvement in Syria, and there's a lot of blame of them inviting such attacks in their strongholds because of what they have been involved in the Syrian crisis, backing the regime against the opposition over the past 4 years. As you said, this is not the first time that the Beirut suburb has been attacked by such terrorist suicide bombers. However, what might be different this time is that those groups might be homegrown and not have, infiltrated the border, because most of the Lebanese-Syrian border now is controlled by Hezbollah, by the Syrian army, and by the Lebanese army, except for a very small area between Lebanon and Syria, which are the outskirts of Arsal, where the al-Nusra, al-Qaeda affiliate, have taken the Lebanese army hostages since the past 18 months. But other than that, all the border is patrolled by Hezbollah, by the Syrian army, and by the Lebanese army. So there are concerns that ISIS is infiltrating the camps, the Palestinian camps, or the Syrian camps, and trying to recruit among the local Syrians and Palestinians in those camps.
And we're getting word that another plot failed in the northern Lebanese city of Tripoli.
That's true. There were reports on the same day, yesterday morning, coming out that a bomb was it was the last minute before it detonated. It was caught by the Lebanese army. It was also targeting another Alawite stronghold, a pro-Syrian regime stronghold of Jabal Mohsen. So that was also a concern, that there would have been different attacks on different Hezbollah or allies of, like Syrian allies in Lebanon. And again, as I say, it's also an area close to the Bedawi Palestinian camp. And it's an area that can also, these areas tend to be densely populated. They are deprived, they are poor, and the recruitment of such sort from extremism, from extremists, clerics, or anyone who's here to recruit those suicide bombers, I think with the deteriorating situation of the Palestinians and the Syrians, I think it won't be very difficult to find, those young men out there and prey on them to become suicide bombers.
All right, so we have this volatile situation, which, as you describe, partly the result of the spillover from the conflict in neighboring Syria. And yet the political gridlock continues in Lebanon. I believe it was yesterday the first time in a year that Parliament had met.
Yes, but Lebanon has been working on two tracks, if we can say. There is the security track and the political track. There is widespread consensus among local parties, even on both sides of the spectrum. Even the opposing parties have all come together and agreed that security comes first, and there is no compromise on the security issues. However, what has been lagging behind have been all the political decisions that had to be taken over the past 3 years. So whether it's the parliament extension twice, or the lack of, the ability not to elect a Lebanese president for more than 500 days now, the paralysis in the government, because, it's also a coalition government, and they all take their differences to the decision-making process, which leads to deadlock in taking political decisions. So when you look at the political process, you see that there has been paralysis, but on the security level, they all have agreed that, security is their primary concern. However, this parliamentary session was a consensus that the different parties have reached over issues related to nationality, to World Bank financing of certain projects, but it really didn't tackle the major issues, which are, the presidential elections and the electoral law that people have been asking for in the, populist movement that happened 2 or 3 months ago. So this comes, as a disappointment to the Lebanese people that, the political process is still lagging behind even though there was a meeting that happened a year since the parliament convened, which was like a year ago.
All right, Carol Malouf, many thanks for joining us today from Beirut.